So, how to forgive someone? The eternal question for some of us about when someone has hurt you or someone has mistreated you in any way or in any circumstance, how do we actually forgive that person? How can we be able to let go of the pain and just release that anger, resentment, hurt, whatever it is towards that person? So in this video, I'm going to give you tips and my personal experience about how I learned to forgive others, how I learned to forgive myself as well, and how I've learned that forgiveness is not about the other person. It's not about excusing the other person's behavior. It's about you. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you and starting to embrace that everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has their issues, their traumas, their flaws. And while it's not an excuse when people hurt others, we need to start being aware and accountable of ourselves, of, okay, this person has done this, but what can I do to let go of the pain, to heal and to move forward from this situation? Perhaps you might never have thought about it. Some people believe, and many of us believe, that people don't deserve forgiveness. I've heard a lot of people say this, including me in the past, where I thought, I would never forgive that person. I would never do that. And then years later, when I started my personal growth, my healing, my inner work, and more like spiritual path as well, I started realizing that with that thought, the only person that I was actually hurting was me, not whoever hurt me in the past or not whoever did something to me. It was me, because what happens to us when we don't forgive, okay? It's as simple as you carry that within you. You carry the resentment, the pain, the hurt, even if you think you're okay. For many years in my personal situation, for example, to forgive, in this case, my father, it took me half of my life to actually get to that point. And I always thought I was okay with the situation. I was okay because I could talk about it with no problems. Like if someone asked me how was my relationship with my father, or if I ever had any issues with family, I would explain the situation with no actual feeling of, oh, I really resent this person. I didn't. So I thought I was fine. I thought that not forgiving him, it was more like he doesn't deserve that, so I'm not going to forgive him. And I've heard so many people say this as well. Like, I think we're human and sometimes we can be a bit resentful, or we can be a bit strong-tempered, and we are like, no, this person does not deserve my forgiveness. That's what we actually think. And then when I started doing my healing and I started being more conscious about certain things in my life, I realized I had to forgive him, because not forgiving him was impacting me, was not impacting him. And I wouldn't want him to be impacted, or another person that I've had issues in the past. It wasn't that sensation, but I was carrying a lot of anger and resentment inside. It wasn't manifested in that specific moment, but I was carrying that with me, not being conscious about it. And that can affect your personal relationships, your romantic relationships, your life. The only person that was impacted at the end of the day was me, not others. We have to learn to let go of that pain and not forgiving others, because your life cannot improve if you don't, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying you have to force yourself to forgive someone. It took me so many years to do that. And even with other people, some people, for me, let's say ex-partners, okay, it has been very quick. Other people has taken me more time. Depends on the hurt and the experience you live with that person. It's hard because sometimes there can be abuse involved or something that has been really traumatic for you. And I'm sorry if you've been through that. I can really empathize. But besides what happened, you have the choice. And the choice you can make for yourself, for your life today, is to release the burden, release the pain, release the hurt, the resentment. Because once you do, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel like a weight is lifted from your body, from your mind, from your soul. That doesn't mean you in the future cannot have a relationship or friendship or whatever it is with that person. Of course you can. Depends on the circumstance. Everybody's different. But letting them go with light, with love, and not being attached to whatever specific scenario, circumstance you had with that person makes you free. So for whoever thinks or doesn't know how to forgive someone or is not able or thinks like, oh, this is bullshit. Why would I forgive someone? As I said earlier, they don't deserve it. Think about you. Do you want to feel more free? Do you want to release the past and welcome the new? Do you want to attract better relationships, friendships, opportunities, whatever it is, family members to get along with them better, whatever is your circumstance? Or do you want to continue living your life, not even being aware or being aware of the resentment for that person or that people or the circumstances and not moving forward? Staying always in the past and repeating the same old patterns, because what happens in life is like everything is a mirror. So whatever experience you have in life is going to show you whatever you need to heal or whatever you need to be conscious and let go. So it's going to repeat itself. Let's say you don't want to forgive an ex-partner because he cheated or she cheated on you. If you think about the pain with still, like, you think about the moment when they cheated on you, even if it was years ago or you were a teenager, it doesn't matter when, and you still feel like that hurts, when you think about it, it's like, oh, you still have unresolved pain, meaning you haven't let go of the hurt. You haven't forgiven that person. And we need to be aware that if that happens to you, chances are, in many circumstances and our scenarios with people, we repeat the same pattern until we heal whatever we need to heal. And this is not always about others. Others sometimes are the teachers, the reflection, the mirror to show you this is what you need to work on. This is what you need to let go of. But sometimes we are not conscious about it, and that's okay. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes learning and therapy, coaching, whatever you are into. But it's going to repeat, and chances are that, for example, that ex-partner that cheated on you and you still have that pain, unresolved pain, chances are that you might enter another relationship in the future where that person might cheat on you again, or that person might make you feel insecure. They might not even cheat on you, okay? I'm not saying this always happens, but they might make you feel very insecure for no reason. The other person might give you a reason or no reason. But if they do, then that unresolved pain is going to come back. And what does that mean? You're going to experience double hurt. So it's not just with the actual partner that you're in, you're being triggered by past events. And why are you being triggered by past events? Because the story is repeating itself, or the feelings are repeating itself until you are able to heal and move forward. And now, healing is not a straight line. Healing is, sometimes it can be like bumps on the road. Sometimes you can be up, sometimes you can be down. Either way, so healing is different for each person. That's why in this video I want to make clear that you don't have to force yourself to forgive someone. When you're ready, you will, but you can start consciously thinking about who are the people that you haven't forgiven and how is that actually impacting your life if you're able to recognize it. Sometimes we are not able to recognize it at first, and that's why we need a professional to work with us. But if you are able to recognize it, or you see repeated patterns or things that have happened to you over and over again with friends, with relationships, with family members, with colleagues, with jobs, like it can be anything. It can be a business, it can be a job, it can be anything. Try to start thinking, okay, has this happened to me before? If it has, how do I feel about that experience? Do I still hold pain or hurt? Am I conscious about it? And why is this happening again? And then when it happens again, ask yourself as well, what is the learning that this situation is giving me? What is the blessing as well? Because like we always learn something, even from the most horrible situations in life, we learn something. So what are you learning about this situation? Is it something that can make you grow? Is it something that you can put into practice in your life? You are the person that has to ask yourself these questions, because at the end of the day, we all have our own answers, okay? Try to sometimes go inward and see what are your answers. So the same goes for this forgiveness process. How can I forgive someone? Am I ready? If you're not ready, it's okay. Don't pressure yourself. What I started doing years ago, for example, when I wanted to forgive my father, I started like writing it down, like an affirmation, like in the present moment, of course, like if it already happened. Obviously, that wasn't just the action that made me forgive him, but I was conscious about it and I started wanting to. But many years ago, I didn't want to and I didn't care. I thought like I was not going to. So it's up to you. You have the choice and the opportunity to take action if you want to improve your life and if you want to bring better harmony, relationships, peace into your life. But I want to clarify as well here, as important as it is to forgive others, so it is to forgive yourself, okay? Because this is another thing that when I started, it became easier for me. You know, I forgive everyone, but then I wasn't really conscious. Oh, what about me? Like, what about the mistakes I've made in the past? What about things maybe we all unconsciously sometimes hurt people? Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Sometimes we all do. And I started thinking, it's like, okay, I've never actually forgiven myself for my mistakes. I've never actually thought about it. And it carries a very heavy weight to not forgive yourself, because sometimes our human minds replay the past constantly. And you might find yourself some days where you think about a past situation that happened so long ago and you regret maybe how you acted, what you did, how you behaved with others. It comes back to us sometimes. The guilt comes back too for many people. So when that happens, we don't feel great. You don't feel good of whatever you have experienced or done. I started being conscious of that and learning that, okay, I need to forgive myself too for whatever I've done. You can't carry the heavy weight on your shoulders on top of like, you don't forgive others and then you don't forgive yourself. And then you live this life that is heavy. You might not feel it, but it is inside in your soul. And to let go as well of any negativity or any karmic relationships or anything that we have to experience, the true key is to forgive. Forgiveness is something that I wish they would teach us that in school, to forgive, to meditate, to learn how to calm our minds, our negative thoughts, how to be in relationships, like romantic relationships, friendships, businesses. My God, that would be such powerful things that we could all learn. But anyway, everything is the way it is, and we learn through experiences. That's why life experience as well is very important, not just books or university or school experience. So forgive yourself, Okay, that's very important. Be kind to yourself. Understand that you're human, that you make mistakes like everybody else. Don't be thinking that anybody's perfect because nobody is. I've met many, many people and I observe, I analyze everything, and I know nobody's perfect. And that's the true beauty of life. If everyone would be perfect, or we would all strive or try to achieve to be perfect, it would be so boring. Like there wouldn't be any inspirational ideas, like here talking about these topics, trying to improve ourselves or trying to achieve another goal, because everything would be perfect and we would achieve anything anyway because we are perfect. But that's not what the true human experience or our lives are about. So be kind to yourself. Understand that everything that happened as well was for a reason. Even if I know sometimes it's really tough for people to understand this, because sometimes it's like, how could this be for a reason when it was extremely horrible? I know we might not understand it, but there's always like a plan, a path, a blessing behind the hurt. You can always ask yourself, what is the blessing in this situation? Or what am I learning in this situation? For even if it's something really small, you will be learning something about that experience. So in this channel, okay, I make my videos, I am Spanish, so I make my videos in English and Spanish to be able to help more people around the world. And I have guided meditations here. Okay, that's the main focus of the channel, but then I create these videos as well for whoever needs these words and this intuitive guidance, because here I'm just intuitively telling you my thoughts and my experiences. So again, take what resonates, and what doesn't resonate with you, just don't take it. So I do guided meditation. So I'm going to include a guided meditation here for you in the channel that I created a while ago about forgiveness for yourself. Okay. You don't need to start with forgiving others if you're not ready to, or it's something that you're still working on. But I think it's very important to acknowledge and be aware of you as well as a person, your mistakes, your hurt, your traumas, whatever it is, to forgive yourself and let yourself be free too. So I'm going to include it here in the description box. I hope it helps you. I want you to leave you with that reflection. Forgiveness is not about others. Forgiveness, it's about us. Because when we forgive others, we free ourselves. We free ourselves, like I don't know why I did that with my hand, like a bird flying in the sky. We free ourselves from pain, from hurt, from resentment, from the past, and we live in the present moment, because the more we go back, we're always thinking in the past. It's really, really hard and tough for your mind and your life. So we need to live a little bit more, as much as we can, in the present. And that means letting go of the past. And letting go of the past simply means forgiving others, yourself, places, situations, circumstances, and welcoming the new, beautiful opportunities, possibilities, and energy that you can achieve in your life once you let go of those things that no longer serve you. And again, if someone has really hurt you, there is no excuse for bad behavior, okay? But you have the choice to understand that situation, to heal from that situation, to forgive and to let go for you. Okay, for your health, for your well-being, for your power, for your life, not for them, for you. If you want to look at it that way, for you. And then I do know if you're more into spiritual practices, and obviously if you have practiced forgiveness, another technique that I practice now that I wouldn't even believe that I would do this in the past is to send love and light to that person. Okay, to however you want. It doesn't have to be a specific ritual. Maybe when you're meditating, there's forgiveness meditations. There's other techniques you can do, but or sometimes I've just closed my eyes and I've imagined that person. I've just surrounded that person with loving energy, a light. Simple as that. Sometimes I do it directly to their heart, to their energy field, but you can do whatever you want. And I'm telling you, I was once the person that didn't want to forgive anyone. And if I speak to you right now about these things, it's because I've seen the power, I've seen the results, and I've seen how much my life has changed and my internal well-being has changed once I was able to forgive and let go of the pain, the hurt, and what others do. We can't change others. We can only change ourselves, and we have the power for ourselves, not for others, unfortunately. So I hope this has helped you. And if you like my videos or my meditations, just subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Your support means a lot to me. And I hope this gives you a way of seeing forgiveness in another way, a way of understanding that we all carry our own things, our own hurt, our own experiences, and we're doing the best we can. So if you're in the process, if you've never thought about it before, if you want to forgive, try to perhaps incorporate this talk that I've just gave you, to look at it in a different perspective and to understand that whatever you do as well with love, it's always going to benefit you, your heart, your life, and your soul. So thank you and have a beautiful day.